This program is presented by University of California Television. Like what you learn? Visit our website or follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the latest UCTV programs.
On September 13th, an Indian judge sentenced 4 young men to death for the brutal rape and subsequent death of a 23-year-old woman in New Delhi. That attack, which occurred on a moving bus as it was being driven through a part of town frequented by diplomats, sends shockwaves throughout the entire country of India. Massive demonstrations ensued, government commissions were established, and new laws were passed to both deter and punish these sorts of crimes. Here to talk about that case and her own work as a human rights lawyer in India is Rituparna Mohante. Ms. Mohante has represented rape victims and their families in her home state of Orissa. She is also the founder of a shelter for sexually exploited women and girls called Ma Gara, which is Hindi for Mother's Home. And this month, she is a guest here in San Diego of the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice. Rituparna Mohante, welcome to Legally Speaking.
Thank you very much.
Last year, there were something like 25,000 rapes that were reported in India, and there were undoubtedly many more that occurred in the country. So what was it about this particular incident in New Delhi that got so much attention even before the victim died? Was it that this incident was so much more vicious than most incidents like this, or were there other factors, do you think, that were involved here?
Particularly the Delhi case is unique.
Why? Why is this unique?
Because in this case, media was played a very vital role, and media really makes people aware that the law in favor of women, the system in favor of women, nothing is working now. But now it is the need. Yeah, that is now it is the need. The public should raise the voice.
But why was the media so drawn to this case, and why, as opposed to so many other cases which the media ignores?
Yeah, that's true, but maybe it is a capital city of our country, and most of the young boys, girls, you might have seen the television, they came off, they stand with this case, and it's forced to make a new law, new policy to set up Burma Commission in our country. Though we are fighting since 2 decades, 3 decades, that laws should be changed because we have still our colonial law.
I've read that New Delhi is considered the rape capital of India, that there are more rapes in New Delhi than any other major city in the country. Is that true?
No. I think Delhi is more safe for women, safer than other state. I'll tell my state about my state. Maybe reported case is less or more somewhere it compares, but there is many cases unreported. I have because I have exposure to every tribal village, rural village, and also bigger city, and networking with a lot of organization working throughout our country. So I know where the people are where there is case is reported, then we thought that case is more here. But maybe where there is no reporting, there is no people, the police is not active to report the cases. There are also many cases happening. Like,
do you think that the judge in that New Delhi case did the right thing when he sentenced 4 of those defendants to death?
Yeah, death penalty is not the solution. I'll rather say that if they will have the whole life imprisonment, that will be better. But now
You're against the death penalty.
Yeah.
As a matter of principle.
Yeah, the death penalty is not going to solve this problem, because they will just one time they will die. So they should realize what they have did.
But how there was so much support for the idea of having these guys hang.
Yeah.
And there were demonstrations on the street.
Yeah.
If the judge didn't hand down the death penalty, wouldn't there be a lot of demonstrations, maybe even riots, had the judge not handed down the death sentence?
I know. The situations, I'm not talking about this case. I'm talking the situation is like that. The judge, judge should not force to do any judgment. Judge should be judicious. Even if there is any kind of force from the people. But thing is, it is not the IPC, Indian Penal Code, where the sentence or the punishment came up. That is regarding CRPC, because the procedurals. Why you are thinking there is very low conviction in India? Because of procedure is very critical. I'll tell you one example. If police will not file the charge sheet within 120 days, then the rape accused, the traffickers, whoever may be the accused, the murderer, he will get bail automatically. And it's totally depends upon 4 evidence, like oral evidence, circumstantial evidence, physical evidence, and material evidence. That will be collected by the law enforcement. But law enforcement is corrupt in India, very much corrupt.
Yeah.
And how we expect that the fair charge sheet or report will be filed in the court? And that is why we were always in fear that even if the culprit will be arrested, because of the lengthy judicial process, because of the corrupt law enforcement, will not get the justice.
The police are corrupt, the system is inefficient, people are deterred from pressing charges, right?
Yeah.
Is there another problem here as well? This sense that family honor and feminine virtue incentivizes both the victims and families to cover up rather than seek justice when one of these crimes occurs. Let me just read to you that, sometime before the trial, the lawyer who represented 3 of the defendants in that New Delhi case, he gave an interview with a reporter, and he expressed the view during that interview that no respectable woman in India is ever raped. He said, quote, "I have not seen a single incident or example of rape with a respected lady." Would you say that sort of thinking, if you can call it thinking, is still very prevalent in India today?
Yes. That is also bothering for women rights activists, and because of culture, because of social stigma, the rape victim, the sexually abused victim, repeatedly victimized by the society, by the family, by some, there is no support system at all. That is why we are really feeling very sorry sometimes. Whenever, they are not taking it. It is accident. It is an accident for women. If somebody, the male, will lose his leg or hand in accident, the woman is not behaving like this. Why the patriotic mindset is behaving women like this? Why this society is behaving women like this when she is facing an accident? So I'm really worried about that, and we have done a lot of program orienting people for not stigmatize the victim, even if not only the family or society or community. You go to the mindset. You go to after the rape, the victim goes to the doctor for medical examination. I find in my country, when I accompanied with the rape victims, the doctor, the nurse also looking to her like she has done some crime. The police also behave like that. So every system is not in favor of the victim. How will they will never give the respect, even if a woman who is from a respectable family, if she will be raped, if that will come to the notice of the people, people will look at to her in different way. So that is why, even if the 60% women are harassed in workplace in India, as per survey of the Press Trust of India, and there are a lot of sexual abuse, there are a lot of rape is happening in the rural area, in tribal area, the family is not dare to report also. They think you will just not go to the public.
And you don't think in this very highly publicized case in New Delhi that the fact that these young men got the death penalty, you don't think that will help any of this? You don't think that the extreme nature of the sentence will improve any of the, will solve or not even, or improve the situation that you're describing?
Not in a big way. But after that, I'll tell you, after that, thousands of rapes have occurred in our country. But what about I was written in my small newspaper, I have written editorial that, yes, the 4 culprits got death sentence, but in my state, there was another rape and murder of a minor girl, and her case was pending in the High Court because of some police defect in charge sheet. The prosecutor, the lawyer of the defense lawyer, he has made it. They have stopped it in the High Court. They have the petition not to progress. So what about that? That case is pending. Thousands of cases pending still.
Right. And I heard there's like 100,000 cases now pending now. In India, rape cases.
Yeah, they're seeking for justice now.
Let me ask you if you can explain something to me. Since India won its independence from Great Britain, something like, 65 years ago, it's not as if women haven't obtained positions of power and influence, starting with Indira Gandhi, who won 4 elections and ruled the country for something like 15 years. Today, the president of the country's ruling Congress Party is a woman, as is the Speaker of the lower house of Parliament is a woman. There have been 3 women on the Supreme Court of India. So it's not as if women haven't obtained these very influential positions. It's not as if women haven't figured prominently in your history. And yet I read that India, there was one survey done that showed India being the fourth most dangerous country in the world for women. Slightly better than Afghanistan and the Congo, but actually worse than Somalia. So why is it, I mean, that, given that there have been some, a good number of prominent women in India who've obtained these very powerful positions, why is it that there's still so much misogyny there, so much sex harassment, so many sex crimes, so much human trafficking? How do you explain that incongruity?
You are not telling how much women representation in our parliament. Still, we have only 9 to 10% women representing in parliament, upper house.
Right, but you had a prime minister way ahead of, I mean, we still have yet to get a woman president here in the United States, and
She was not the prime minister because she was a woman. She was from the Nehru family or Gandhi family, so she became prime minister. The promoting the leadership from the grassroots level is a different thing, and the leader's child is a leader is a different thing. So I don't think, yes, after 65 years we are realizing we had changed the government, but we have never changed the system. The colonial system is existing still today.
But India does have the universal franchise. Everyone can vote in India, and in many regions of the country, women vote in as high or even higher proportions than men, right?
Oh, you are forgetting the women are most illiterate people also in India.
So are they voting against their interests?
Yeah, no, not against interest. Now, the political people are buying votes. They are giving bribes. They are giving liquors to poor people and buying votes. And the intellectual mass, they think it is a holiday for us. They don't go for the voting.
So do you fault the women who have obtained power, whether it's Indira Gandhi or whether it's the women who have gotten on your Supreme Court or in your parliament, do you fault them for supporting a corrupt system and not working harder to make the lives of ordinary women better?
I think so, because of course India is a big country. It's 1.27 billion people are there, with different culture, different language, different. So bringing them together is a very difficult part. But they could have developed a good system. They could have developed a good law, good judiciary system, good administrative system for the people. Everywhere is corruption in my country. I'm a lawyer. When I'm going to court, the even fourth grade employees also, they asking for money, or they to move the file or fix up the date or something. I thought I'm not going to give, because I fighted against corruption. I left my job for that. I'll not give money to them. But I'm feeling so difficulties. I'm getting, sometimes I irritated when I'm not getting support. If there is a system which is totally corrupt, it is very difficult to keep me away from that corrupt system. So what will happen? One day I'll think I'll compromise with this system. So in that way, the human characters changed. So society, even if community, they are also influenced by the system.
Yeah.
Their character changes like this.
There's no doubt about it that corruption is a huge problem in your country, and absolutely no doubt about it. But let me read to you what an Indian journalist wrote shortly after that attack in New Delhi. He said, quote, "The modern woman is seen to be on a collision course with our age-old traditions, part sex goddess, part superachiever, loathed and desired in equal measure. A profound fear and deep, almost pathological hatred of the woman who aspires to be anything more than mother and wife is justified on the grounds of tradition." So isn't that true? Apart what you're saying about corruption and the law, which I'm sure is true, isn't there an element of truth here in what this journalist is saying, that there's just an embedded view, a traditional conservative view that's very hard to displace?
Now, why conservative view? See, when I came here, I saw that every girls are very free in dress and in their moving everywhere very safely. And the male are also there with them. They're not looking at to them. They're not bothering how they dressed, how short dress they are wearing. But if you go to the India, in my state, if you wear the girl will wear a short dress like a half pant or a banyan, everybody will look at her. Everybody will try to teach her. So mother also
or hurt her, right? Or attack her.
Attack her.
Yeah.
So the mother always feels unsafe regarding her daughter. That is why that leads her to be a conservative one. Because of safety. If we will feel secure there with our freedom and our everything, then the people will be, they will not conservative. Whose responsibility it is? The security, the state responsibility. The citizen security is the responsibility of the state. And we are giving tax for that. But they are using it to protecting VIPs, to dealing with law and order. They are not protecting women. They are not protecting the common citizen.
There are those who believed, or at least hope, that economic development would be the key to improve the lives of ordinary women, and for that matter, ordinary men. But after 2 decades of rather robust economic growth in your country, the results have not been terribly impressive, even when compared to much poorer countries. Bangladesh, for example, which is a much poorer country than India. It's said that women are healthier there, they're better educated, they're better integrated into society. So why do you think India hasn't done a better job of utilizing that wealth to make the lives of women better? Why hasn't that economic growth not made a larger difference?
Former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi said that if we are giving 1 rupee to the grassroots level for development, only 15 pies is going to the beneficiary.
Again, corruption.
Again, corruption. So, corruption, patriotic mindset, the faulty system. The thing is not, even if people are not aware about that, which project, which program is going to the down for them. They are not aware about it. I have visited many tribal villages. I have visited many rural villages. Thousands of women were in my meeting. I asked them directly, do you know what are the laws in favor of you? Do you know what are the program and projects of the government in favor of you? Only 3 or 4 women will stand up and say about 2-3 things. We have 102 projects and programs going to the grassroots level in budgeted and non-budgeted scheme. They don't know about it. They are not aware about it. If they have no knowledge about it, how they will ask to the government or government officials about that. So that is the advantage of government officials to do corruption.
But you ask women, what's your knowledge of the laws that can help you? And the fact of the matter is, half the women in India are illiterate, right? Isn't that right? Like something like 50% of women in India are illiterate.
Illiterate?
Illiterate, cannot read.
No, more than that.
More than 50%.
Yeah.
So,
more than that.
And I read more than 50% of households do not have access to a toilet.
Yes.
I've read that immunization rates in India are among the lowest in the world.
Yeah.
That 71% of girls in India are undernourished.
Right.
These are terrible numbers.
Terrible.
And yet, you had economic growth rates that were through the roof for a while.
That is, economic growth is again a politics, like GDP rate.
Yeah.
They are mixing. I told you, 10% people have plenty of money in Swiss bank, and there is big difference between rich and poor. So we have people who doesn't have 2 times food, and we have people who can buy a country. So India is not differentiating the things between poor and rich. They are just taking, similarize the people, they just think they generalize the people, and they take the, they done the study of GDP, and they told that GDP is increasing. But that is not the real picture of India. That's different.
The real picture is not Bollywood.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Before we go much further, I do want to ask you about your background. You describe your parents as freedom fighters.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about them.
Actually, from childhood, we learned simple living and high thinking. Because my mother was dedicated social worker. They joined in land movement with Vinoba Bhave, and they are Gandhian people. They have believe in Gandhi's ideology. They were followers of Gandhi. And from very beginning in my house, there are big people. They came and they talk about the country's interest and the democracy, a lot of things. We are 4 sisters, and we are well educated. But we never thought about making money or living a luxurious life. Rather, we always think how much we have earned, minimum we will utilize for us, and rest of money we will give it to others who are not able to, who are poor or who are not able to protect their fundamental rights. So that was the feeling from the childhood. But I had I was in my childhood. I was in a dreamland because I learned from the music school and dance school. I have gone there, and from childhood I learned that. So I attended many programs. I attended television show. I have done acting in a film. So I thought I'll be in.
So you aspired to be a Bollywood star, right?
I thought sometime.
Yeah.
I thought sometime that I'll be a star or I'll be an actress in future. So, but my turning point was when I became the Students' Union president in my college. I got chance to visit some villages of my state to look after the health issue of the village people. I saw a child. There is a lot of child mortality in India also. You know that. So a child is dying position, and her mother is crying because of malnutrition, and they don't have money to treat him, or there's very miserable condition. I could not resist that things. I thought I should do something for this child.
You created a shelter
Yeah.
for sexually exploited women and girls.
Yeah.
And how many women at any one time are in this shelter?
Yeah, that's a transit home.
It's-
We are not keeping for women forever because
Right.
it
So
is
how long? So how many women and how long is the average stay?
maximum. I have kept women like 1.5 years or 2 years.
Yeah.
Maximum.
2 years.
2 years.
Okay.
Maximum 2 years. But within that
And
time.
how many women are there living there at any one time?
Pardon?
How many women are living there at any one time?
One time there is 50,
50.
women, 50 to 60 women
Okay.
can stay.
When you see a woman who has been abandoned by her family because she was raped or she fell into a life of prostitution or whatever, how likely is it? How realistic is it to expect that the family can be convinced to take her back?
No, it is. It happens with because initially it was very difficult for me, but now it is easier for me because
Easier.
Because everybody watching TV, everybody is watching me advocating with
Because
this
you
issue.
become famous.
Yeah, I become
And
famous.
you can leverage that
Yeah.
to influence these
influence
families.
the people, influence the community.
So this Bollywood training did have a certain, it did come in handy.
Yeah,
Good.
I think so. But no, if genuinely you are doing something, I feel so, and genuinely you are, that things is in your heart, you can influence the people, which I practiced. I can tell other to practice.
How often are you successful? What percentage of the time are you successful in convincing a family to take a young girl back? 50%?
No, more than that.
80%?
89%.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yes.
What's it like to be a law school student in India?
Yeah, it's good to be a lawyer. Rather, we are thinking every student should have some law course.
Mm-hmm. What was the name of the law school you went to?
Oh, it was Dinabandhu Sahu Law College. That is another local.
I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
Yeah,
but,
that's a local one.
How many women in your class?
Oh, very less.
Were you?
Yeah. And in law practitioner also very less women are working.
So how big was your class and how many women were in it?
It was 40-50 students there.
Right.
But women are 2%.
You have developed a reputation
Yeah.
as someone who takes cases on that other lawyers shy away from, correct?
Yeah.
And in that regard, I want to ask you about the Papilli gang rape case that you worked on.
Yeah.
This was a gang rape that occurred actually just a month before the New Delhi gang rape that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And in that instance, as in the New Delhi attack, the victim died. You represented the interests of the victim's family,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And you found yourself not only pitted against the alleged assailants and their
Yeah.
lawyers,
Yeah.
but you also found yourself pitted against the police and a very powerful cabinet minister
Yeah.
in your home state of Orissa named Pradeep Marathi.
Yeah.
So how did that confrontation develop?
Yeah, anyway, we had a fact finding on that. After that fact finding, we have a campaign against whoever may be the culprit. Not only Pradeep Marathi,
What was he doing? What was Mr. Marathi doing that you felt, you were fighting him as well as representing the interests of the family?
Yeah. No, I just explaining how we fighted that case. That when we have done the fact finding, when we got some facts that these are the people who are involved this murder and rape. So we raise voice against them. That is one police investigating officer, another is SP. I raised the voice against the SP and minister because SP was the person, because rape is a special reported case. SP is the person who is supposed to know within 24 hours that that was a special reported case. And SP could have done something earlier to protect that girl, but she has not done anything. That is why we raised the voice when our chief minister was not in the state; he was in the Delhi, and so he listened to the media that I am talking that the Home Department is responsible, because the SP also responsible for this, and Home Department is not taking any action against SP. And also
SP, I'm just, what is that?
Superintendent of Police.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's not, he's a higher officer, IPS officer.
Mm-hmm.
So when I raised that, again, immediately Chief Minister came and transferred that person from that place. And regarding the Pradeep Marathi, there was several dialogue in the media. Even if Pradeep Marathi wife also was with me in the same dialogue. She tried to protect her husband. I told her, see, this is not about your husband. This is about the women of our country, our state. You are also a woman. So you should not protect him like this. You should think about the ideology or ethics. So anyway, the government was in pressure and they asked him to resign from his post.
Now just be clear, what exactly was he trying to do? How was he involved in this case?
Okay, he has protected that criminals.
The assailants who were involved in this gang, he tried to protect them. And why was he trying?
No, what is our fact finding? He has the drama organization, like the theater. He has a theater, and that girl was a good singer. And he tried before to bring that girl to sing for his theater. But that girl, she didn't agree because she wanted to continue her study. Then that fellow has a lot of antisocial people with him, and see maybe some young boys, they got advantage. They supported by this fellow, and they have attacked that girl, and they try to motivate her. When she denied, then they attack her.
I see.
And after that, when these things happened, since 1.5 months, that girl suffered like anything, but the minister protected that culprits by influencing police and other administration for not to arrest that culprits.
I see.
So that is why they are.
So you forced that cabinet minister ultimately to resign, correct?
Yeah, not me, we, the women organizations.
But you were a primary force in that. Does caste still play a major role in Indian society? Does it really determine still to a large extent where people end up in life and what kind of justice they receive or do not receive? Is that still, does caste still play a role that's important in
caste,
society?
because political people playing with casteism, because they know how to divide and rule. That is why they have taking these issues very nicely, very deliberately. But in Indian society, yes, there was a lot of casteism, and there is a feelings for upper caste and lower caste. There is a difference between, but because of illiteracy again. If there is in town there is no casteism or feelings of the kind of, in the city there is no feeling, because we are sharing our thoughts, or we are sharing sitting in the same place. But
I mean, like people who know you even casually, would they necessarily know what caste you're from?
No, I don't think they don't. I never given impression to the people that which caste I am from. Because I go to the very...
People know you who do not necessarily know what caste you're from.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So who are educated, who
Yeah.
was in a position, people never ask them.
So I don't
which
know if
caste
this
you
is
are.
an impolite question, but let me ask you, and you can tell me it's none of my business, but what caste are you from?
Yeah, I'm Mahanti, and
Okay, now what does that mean? Are you in the middle? There's Brahmin is the top.
top. Next is Mahanti.
So you're one notch down.
Yeah.
So what were the implications of that? Did that give you certain options that you otherwise wouldn't
No,
have?
I don't think that is, that caste is not at all a, is a parameter to judge a person.
Mm-hmm.
I think if somebody is knowledgeable, somebody has the humanity quality, and somebody has has power to understand the peoples or the society. I think enough. It is enough.
But you
It's
don't,
not
do you
caste.
consider the fact that you're, relatively high up in the caste hierarchy, that gave you advantages that you otherwise wouldn't have had?
No, I don't think. I don't think. Because I have also know many Dalit women who are very powerful, who are with me. We are working together. They are in politics. They are in social leader. They are in different place. I think education is the main problem with us. If in rural area, if in community, everybody will be educated, everybody will have some work, good work,
Right.
the casteism will be over.
But people who are from higher caste, do they have better access to education?
Yes, yes.
So you had access to education that you perhaps wouldn't have had if you were much lower down
No,
in the
actually,
pecking order.
no, actually, another factor also the poverty.
Right.
People who are in higher caste, they are always, they are from the beginning they are rich, and few people are poor, but they are rich.
Yeah. So it's a combination, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
caste and class and gender
Yeah.
that combined to a large extent determine your fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been talking an awful lot about corruption,
Yeah.
and certainly I think that the police and local officials are justifiably mistrusted by a lot of people. So given that mistrust, and given that so many of these policemen and local officials haven't earned that trust, I'm wondering how you view the tactics of a woman named Sampat Pal, who's gotten a fair amount of publicity lately. She's from the state of Uttar Pradesh. Have you heard of her?
Yeah.
She's this woman who started a gang of women called the Gulabi Gang, and they wear pink saris, and they carry around these big sticks that are painted pink, and on occasion they beat up people, including policemen, when they refuse to investigate rapes. They're vigilantes, right? But in a country where there is so much corruption, is a little vigilantism, do you think, a good thing?
Yeah, I like my sister, and I also know about the Gulabi Gang. It is in my case also. I have in community level. I have created community vigilance group.
Have you beaten up anybody? Have you beaten up anybody with a stick?
No, just I'm
haven't.
telling that. Just I'm telling that. So what they are doing, they are using the law, using their solidarity to forcing the police or system to take the action in legal way.
Right.
Whatever they are doing, I think that is, if somebody will take it in different way, they will be in problem. because it is a beating somebody, it is a illegal.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken it to the next step.
Yeah.
They're beating up people.
Yeah,
and I think there have been criminal charges filed against this woman.
Yeah, that is that again that will put them in trouble. So if you will be in trouble, then how you will fight for another trouble? So.
Well, I did see a documentary about her.
Yeah.
And she's illiterate.
Yeah.
But she's obviously quite smart. She's fearless.
Yeah.
And you know, it appears that she's quite influential. You know, in the documentary, she was asked about Mahatma Gandhi, and she said, you know, I really admire Mahatma Gandhi. He's the father of my country, but I have a different style, is how she put it. So, you know, she's an interesting lady.
Yeah, interesting lady.
But
yeah.
you don't see yourself resorting to violence anytime soon.
No, I believe in non-violence. I believe in using law and using the system in favor of the citizens who are deprived. We can get the result.
Yeah.
But for that we also need knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I have law knowledge. I have a lot of experience working with the public field, with government system also.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Yeah.
So maybe that woman is really wanting to do something for the public, but she has not that knowledge how to use the law and how to use the system in favor of the women. That is why she is trying to do something else. So when she will get the charm of the law and using that law in favor of the citizen, so maybe she will adopt the Mahatma Gandhi's way, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she's, you know, I mean, it seems to be working for her in an odd sort of way. But you know, when I read about what Sampat Pal has is doing, you know, I'm rather amazed that she's still alive. And to be blunt about it, I have to say that. I wonder how it is that you're still alive, because certainly you've made your share of enemies. How would you answer that question?
The enemies?
Yeah, how is it that you've managed to stay out of danger, given all the enemies that you've made?
Yeah, that is a big challenge for me. Always I am facing a lot of problems, lot of challenges, like sometimes the criminals who are after me, who are big people, politicians who are after me, of course they are not directly, they are not addressing or doing anything against me or speaking against me, because they know I have a lot of public support, media support and everything. But indirectly they are trying to tarnish my image, they are trying to attack me, they are trying to kidnap my son also.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that, because, and this goes back to February 2010, when you asked for police protection for yourself and your family, and particularly your school-age son. And what started it all was as I understand it, was a series of very threatening calls. Describe those phone calls.
Yeah, actually, in one case there was we have trapped one trafficker, and that was actually supported by some police officials and also some civilians officials, and that fellow was quite well connected. Because of he's running a sex trade.
Didn't he say to you that he had the commissioner in his pocket, the chief of police in his pocket?
Deputy commissioner is in his pocket.
He said to you as well, you have created problems for me, and I will hurl bombs and kill you and your family.
Yes, he
you felt that he was going to try to kidnap your son, correct?
He used so bad, filthy language every time.
You know, let me ask you this. You know, it's one thing to put your own life on the line for a noble cause, but as a mother, how did you come to terms with the knowledge that the good work that you were doing was putting your own son in danger? How did you come to grips with that? Yeah,
when that time was really hard for me. My husband, my family members, all told like this.
Is your husband a lawyer as well?
No.
What does he do?
He's a development professional. So everybody, you know, in my family also told me, what kind of work you are doing, and all the family members are in danger, and your life also. Mm-hmm. I didn't reply, and after that I just told them that everybody will die in a day, and nobody knows who will die in which way. Maybe in snake bite, maybe in accident, maybe in heart attack. Nobody knows who will die in which way. So why I will fear, or I'll stop my good work, that fearing that that person will kill me? No, he also doesn't know how he will die. So how he can decide, or somebody can decide that my death? It is, you know.
Does your husband feel the same way?
He was not convinced in my
if he told you to
dialogue.
stop, if he told you to stop, would you?
No, he'll not tell. He'll not. He knows that I'm determined, because before my marriage there was a condition.
You made a condition.
Yes.
Yeah, and
there
which
was many came to me. That was two conditions with my family. I have told before that you do arrange marriage, anything, whomever maybe, but two conditions: he will not ask for dowry, and he will respect my work, what I'll do.
Those were the two conditions.
Two conditions.
Uh-huh.
And in that two conditions, he has accepted, and I married him. That is why.
Even when that work was endangering your son.
My son is a very brave boy. He is. He also now he is also trying to understand my work, and he is also encouraging me. No, mom, you need your the most vulnerable children are, they are also, they need you. You should work for them, and I am happy that you are working for them. He is also he is encouraging me, and my child. I always believe, if somebody is doing good work, that blessing will definitely go to her child, and I'm confident that nothing will be happen with my child.
When I was doing the research for this interview, there was one statistic in particular that I found quite shocking, and it had to do with how many women are burned to death every year over dowries. In fact, there's one estimate that I read that every 58 minutes in India, a woman is murdered in this fashion because her family did not come up with a large enough dowry to satisfy the husband. And this is in a country where, since 1961, the giving and taking of dowries has been illegal. So how do you even begin to tackle a problem like that?
Yeah, dowry is a big problem basically in the rural area, not tribal area. Tribal system is different. But rural area and urban area, dowry is a big problem, and you are very right. Every day I am getting cases of dowry, born case on death. And after that case, the incident, if the family member will go to report the police will tell, no, she commits suicide.
That's right. They're often portrayed as accidents or suicide.
Suicide.
Yeah.
So it's so badly they will take this issue. So that is neither a good mindset for this tackling the situation in the administrative level and political level, nor there is no social check and balance system also. That is also a big botheration for us, and particularly me.
You go back to 1978. There was a gang rape in Hyderabad in which the victim was raped not simply by an ordinary gang of thugs. She was raped by a group of policemen. And just like what happened in New Delhi last winter, there were massive demonstrations, there were laws passed, there were commissions created, and yet nothing much changed for women in India. The courts are still overcrowded. The laws, the police are still ignoring these crimes. And women are still strongly deterred from pressing charges. So are you at all optimistic that this time around, after all the attention that was paid to what happened in New Delhi last winter, that things will be different, that this gap between the enactment of laws and the enforcement of those laws will narrow in a lasting and meaningful way?
Yeah, it can be happened if every state will take it differently, because it is also states' responsibility to protect their citizens, and the law, whatever the national law, that should be implemented by the state people, because there is a big gap between the implementation of the law, enforcement, and making the law. Making the law is very easy. They are sitting and telling that this law has been passed. But when enforcement is coming, we are getting very few action has been taken by the state government or government itself. Like for the huge trafficking, sex trafficking is going on in our country. So we also fight for good policy, we fight for good law in favor of trafficking, sex trafficking victims. We fight with a lot. Now there is a good law for to protection of trafficking victim, and also centrally they have sent some letters or notifications to and directed to state government to develop some system like AHAT, anti-human trafficking cell or something, to monitor trafficking, to stop women trafficking, human trafficking. But pen and paper, they have opened it. They had a meeting, but there is no infrastructure, there is no extra budget system, there is no operationalized of that system. So that we are bothering. That is the problem we are facing. That even if the good laws are there, even if the direction was there in pen and paper, unless until they will not practice it, unless until they will not implement it properly, nothing is going to happen.
So are you optimistic that things will get better?
I always hope for better. Even if there is 100% corruption, if I'll be the one who is non-corrupt, it will be 99.
Rutuparna Mohanty, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Thank you very
Take care.
much. Thank you.